All right, folks, welcome to the live stream. It is the 21st of December, Christmas only a few days away, and we've got a treat for you here. It is a Sunday afternoon matinee between the Spartacats and the Valkyries. Spartacats in their road blues, or road royal blues with a white trim. Valkyries in their white with the dark numbers and yellow trim. And offside early against the Valkyries. Donahue and Scott appear to be your defenders. Olsen, Bauman, and Nurka your forwards. Full slate of players here for the Spartacats today, as Izzy Nurka back from illness. Bauman losing an edge. This is Olsen coming out of the pack momentarily. Has to fight through a number of girls there. Check it, I think Nurka's playing defense. Donahue is actually playing forward. Donahue keeps that one in. Tries to skate it up towards the crease, but it's turned away that time by the Valkyries. Now the Valkyries attack down the near side. Bottom of your screen, steaming through central ice. Scott misses the poke check there. Nurka has it on the far side. This one rolls in towards Wilhelm. Wilhelm having a little trouble getting back into her net. But the Spartacats hold up everything long enough for Wilhelm to get back into her crease. Cats need to have make some firm passes there. And Wilhelm covers that one for a quick whistle with 10:58 to go here in the first period. Lines are changing. Shack, Nelner, and Baker are your forwards. Kron and Meller, I believe, are your defenders. This one to the middle, this one goes to the far side. Meller loses an edge, no arms in the air from the refs, just lost an edge. Battle in the far corner. Nelner with an opportunity, she gets it out of the zone, but unfortunately, check it, that was Shack. Number three and number one look a little bit alike in terms of height. And speaking of number one, here comes Aurelia Nelner. Nelner over the blue line. Good defense there by the Valkyries, pushing Nelner off that puck. Meller tries to hold it in, she does. It's fed back down, going the other direction. Nelner gets to it. Valkyries pitching it out to the bad ice area in the corner, left side of your screen. Good crossing pass there towards the crease. This falls for Kron. Kron with an opportunity. Kron shoots, takes a deflection on the way in. Nelner with another opportunity in the near corner. Tries a centering pass, can't get it to work. Meller gets it. She sends it in towards the crease. This is towards Baker. Looks like Shack is going to pressure that one. This is Meller. Meller brings it into her own end. Goes cross ice. This is good cross ice pass that time by Meller. Finds Nelner. Nelner over the blue line. She's got a teammate to her right. Nelner shoots. Hits the side of the net and it goes in. I thought it was going to hit the side of the net. But Aurelia Nelner scores for the Spartacats. 9:36 to go here in the first period. A quick start for the Spartacats. I did not think that. I thought that was going to go side netting and somehow into the either side netting or hit the side of the net. But from our angle, we were throwing a curveball. Aurelia Nelner, though, not messing around as she gets the Spartacats off to an early lead. Maren Olsen with that puck. Cats have to be careful there. They might have been offside. This is a good centering pass opportunity there. Held in by Scott. Scott fires from distance. This comes in for Olsen. Olsen has it on her forehand. Now she turns, fires cross-ice pass. Looking to get that into the crease, but it goes behind the net. Olsen battling far side. Now she's got it, feeds it across, but it was a short pass, and it was intercepted by the Valkyries. This is Zoe Scott near the red line, and she sends that down deep as Alora Mercel is going to chase. Bauman making trouble in front of the net. Mercel tries to get it off her stick, but good defense there that time by the Valkyries. This one's wrapped around to the far side. Nurka holds it in momentarily, but the Spartacats, it came out. I think this should be offside against the Spartacats. But in any event, we play on. Good crossing pass that time by Olsen. Neither of the Spartacat players in front of the net able to get their sticks on that. And now the Valkyries go in the other direction. That went in down deep towards Wilhelm. Scott retrieves. She'll pitch that out, try to get it out, but it's held in that time smartly by the Valkyries. This is Olsen with a head of steam through his neutral ice. She's drawing quite a crowd. Good defense that time by the Valkyries into the corner. Cats changing behind Olsen. Bauman falls down in front of the net. Kron holds it in. Here's an opportunity for Bauman. Could not control it behind the net. Now is she going to get to it again? She is. Gets to her, tries to go to her forehand. Good idea. Shack comes in to help far side. And this one comes across and comes out. This comes to Meller. Meller down deep. It's taken by Donahue. Donahue has it. Little tap in towards the keeper. Keeper paddles that and pads that aside. A little pushing and shoving in the corner, and Shack gets on the other end of it. Two Spartacats collapsing on each other. Shack's going to go to the far side. Try to keep this in. Kron's high behind her. Good battle on the boards between these two teams. Baker is battling there. She hammers that down behind the Valkyrie net. 6:58 to go here, first period. Eden Meller from the point sends that down behind the net. Shack's going to get on the end of this. Crosses. Good idea by Olivia Shack. Did not come off that time. This is a back pass for Donahue for Meller. Meller whips that around the cage. Somebody in a blue jersey needs to pressure the puck. Nobody was doing it. Everyone was just taking a predetermined position. And here come the Valkyries going the other direction. Valkyries to the middle. Kron with a good poke check. Sends that into the corner. Right side of your screen. Good crossing pass that time by the Valkyries. Comes to the middle. And here's Bridget Baker. Baker around one defender. Dumps it down deep. Everybody changing. All five players changing for the Spartacats. Olsen tries to keep that one in. And so far the Cats do. Bauman takes it away from Nelner. This one comes to the point. It's held in that time by Scott momentarily. And this one out into neutral ice. 5:48 to go here. Score 1-0 favor of the Spartacats. As Aurelia Nelner gets the Spartacats going early. Scott pinching in. Nelner couldn't quite dig that one out of her skates. Now it goes the other direction. Here's Olsen. Olsen tries to go around one defender. And Olsen backing up, and Nelner brought it right into the zone. So we'll have offside against the Spartacats. 5:23 to go here in the first period. Thanks for joining us on the live stream. Valkyries, middle of the pack in terms of the district table. They have 1 win, 2 losses, and 2 ties. It's only 5 games in the district for the Valkyries this year so far. Kron with it, sends it, goes cross ice to Marcel. Marcel couldn't quite control that one, and it goes wide. Held in by Meller. Everyone's got to get out of the zone. Meller's going to send us back in, and it's offside. As Meller was waiting for her teammates to clear the zone, they couldn't, and we'll have offsides. Major positive for the Valkyries this year in those 5 district games. They've only allowed 9 goals in 5 games. The challenge for the Valkyries, they've only scored 10 goals in those 5 games. So giving up about just less than 2 goals a game, scoring 2 goals a game, conceding just under 2 goals a game. And they're at 500. This one comes towards the point. Baker tries to get it out. Meller now slides it towards the point. Doesn't get out. Baker still battling. Good job by Bridget Baker, far side. This one comes to the middle. This is Kron trying to get this one in, and this call falls for Marcel. Valkyries with it in the corner. So I don't think if this becomes a track meet similar to what we had yesterday with Rosemount, that the Valkyries are particularly going to be successful, but if it stays close, good things can happen. Kron sends that down towards the crease, didn't have much on it. Again, she's just poking it forward. Meller's going to get on the end of it. She's going to try to whistle it down. Goes behind the net. Bauman gives chase. So does Marcel. Spartacats changing defenders behind the play. And now the Valkyries come through neutral ice. And that one's sent down deep into the near corner. Meller hammers that off the boards, but the Valkyries keep it in right below your camera. Valkyries near side, chipped up to the boards. Here's Olsen. Olsen around one defender. Maren Olsen, we've seen her do this against Rosemount. Good defense that time by the Valkyries. A little too good. As the referee has her arm in the air, this will come to neutral ice. That'll come to the Valkyries, and a whistle and a tripping, or probably a tripping call, maybe a holding call, not clear, but the Valkyries will go into the box for 1 minute with 3:22 to go here in the first period. Score 1-0, and trip is in fact the infraction. So Scott, Nurka, your defenders, Olsen, Donahue, and I think that's Bauman are your forwards. 1 minute on the clock. Face-off win that time by the girls in blue. This falls out towards the point. Olsen tries to steer this back in, does. Cats have got to spread out. All 5 girls chasing that puck right side of your screen. They really have to spread out a little bit more. Bauman shoves that down into the zone and will give chase. Valkyrie's doing a good job of spreading it out there. That was a great idea to pass, but it's going to come for Olsen. Olsen with a head of steam. She's into the slot. She's going to try to unload, but the defense gets to it first. Nurka holds it in at the blue line. She goes cross ice, but Scott had vacated the blue. Now it's behind the Valkyrie crease. Now it's fed to the point. Nurka probably had a little bit of time there, but didn't need to do it quite that quickly. Bauman far side. Good job by Bauman. Now she's going to be able to try to feed the middle. Nicely done. As the Valkyries return to full strength, Nurka holds it in far side. Valkyries finally get it out to neutral ice, and Zoe Scott with it. Feeds it going the other direction. And I think that was offside, as I think Maren Olsen was offside. That might have been offside too, but referee missed that one. Cron goes cross ice. This is going to slide down deep, and I think Olsen's not going to, well, Olsen is going to get a chance as the referee waves off icing. That didn't make it. This, however, is going to go for icing as it was sent well down by the Valkyries with 1:42 to go here first period. So most of the action, if you're a Spartacat fan, on the right end of things, most of the action to the left as the Spartacats in their road blues with the white trim take on the Valkyries here at the venerable and historic Gary Harker Arena, located here in Burnsville, Minnesota. It's one of the old school arenas that saw for many, many years championship quality hockey in the city of Burnsville for Burnsville High School. Eden Miller with it. Eden Miller on a mission is dispossessed at neutral ice, and Shack sends that down deep behind the Valkyrie end. Milner with a deep forecheck. Miller's going to try to keep this one in. Loses that battle nominally. Now it finally does come out to neutral ice. Cron's going after that one. A couple of whacks at that and goes the other direction. Cron tries to slide it in towards Shack. Shack tries to get it into the zone. Can't quite do it. Cron's got a battle there at neutral ice. A conflagration of players there on the far side. Valkyries initially come out of it. Baker can't get that off of her stick. And here's Cron coming to the near side. Cron hits the Jets, brings it to the near side, has it on the backhand, looking for some help, tries to slide it to the middle. Now she pitches it to the middle. Good defense that time by the Valkyries. And it finds its way up to Eden Miller at the point, who sends it down behind the net. 22 seconds to go here, first period. Rapidly moving first period. Only a handful of icings and one penalty. One penalty, one goal, and a handful of icings, and that's it. This is Nelner. She's only got about 10 seconds left. Nelner fires towards the crease. It hits the side of the net. 6 seconds to go. Eden Miller cannot unload the cannon. And this period is going to end with a score of 1-0 in favor of the Spartacats. Aurelia Nelner lighting the lamp for the Spartacats. As I said, this is Gary Harker Rink here in Burnsville, Minnesota. This is one of the old school venues. I'll even show you the ceiling. It's got the old wood paneling that is so prevalent in the old school. This is where the Burnsville Apple Valley Co-op and the high school plays. That's why you see Apple Valley jerseys up there on the walls. And whoops, sorry about that. And then we've got the various conference opponents there on the other end. So I think, as I understand it, some of the home games for the boys here in the co-op are here at this arena. But this is a fantastic hockey venue, and we're very lucky that we're at this on this side of the rink, as the other rink does not have a good vantage point from which to broadcast. In fact, I've tried it, and it's pretty well worthless. You can't see about a third of the ice, and you're about 4 feet off the ice. It's just an ugly situation in the other rink, which is not a knock on the rink. It's just they didn't design the rink with live streamers or streamers in mind. And I know you'll all be shocked to find out that the world does not revolve around me or what I'm doing. I was shocked to find that out. In any event, 12 minutes on the clock, second period action coming to you from Burnsville. Maren Olsen taking the face-off, wins it nominally, but it comes back for Scott. This is Marcel. Marcel sends that towards the boards. Marcel loses her footing, but does a nice job of sweeping that out into neutral ice. Olsen giving chase. Bauman's right behind her. Nurka pitches that across for Marcel, but couldn't quite come up with it. This is going to be sent in on J-War, as J-War now between the pipes. I think Melissa Wilhelm had the entire first period. Here's an opportunity in front for the Valkyries, and J-War equal to the task there. I think a couple of shots off of her pads. Danger not over for the Spartacats as two girls in blue go down. Olsen around the cage. Now feeds it out. It took up a deflection. Spartacats needs a firm clearance, and now they finally get it. As Bauman will give chase. This gets wrapped in, and this crossing pass from Nurka is intercepted. Doesn't quite come off her stick the way she wants. And the Valkyries steer it back in. Cats lead the Valkyries by a score of 1-0. This rolls in on J-War, and this comes for Nurka, who feeds it forward. It gets out of the zone. Marcel feeds that forward, and here's an opportunity for Nurka. Check it, that's Marcel. Marcel dispossessed in the corner. Sorry, bad camera work there. Bauman tries to keep it in, can't. This is going to go, I think, for icing. Nope, nobody's arms are up, so not icing. Eden Miller around her cage. Tries to get this one out, can't do it. Spartacats need to remember their defensive responsibilities. Nurka with it about halfway up the boards. This one comes back in and offside against the Valkyries. So with 10:05 to go here, second period, the Cats are moving from left to right. Valkyries from right to left. Neither team with a particularly large bench. Cats have done a good job of getting on the board early. As I said before, Valkyries have a great defensive record, but have not scored too many goals. You get the idea that maybe 3 goals wins this game for the Spartacats. Let's see if they're able to try to create some more offense as the Cats beneath the camera here. This is Cron, goes cross ice. Nicely done. Here's an opportunity for Donahue. Donahue gains the zone. Donahue harassed on the far side, slides that down and it rolls near the crease. Now it's out in front. Opportunity for Marcel. That's Shaq. No, it's Shaq. Another opportunity. Lots of good defense in front. Valkyries rallying to the defense. Donahue in the corner. Gets tied up. Baker went over to help. Now Cron's going to pinch in from this side. Cron tries to hold it in. Shaq covers for her. Smartly done. Here's an opportunity for the Spartacats, and it goes begging as Miller was unable to cover the whole blue line. One of the other players that had been covering the blue line went to the bench. And Eden Miller with an opportunity. She's on the defense, but now she's on the offense. Eden Miller in over the blue line. Good defense that time by the Valkyries as Miller was stood up. We've seen Eden Miller score several goals like that. Spartacats standing around a little bit, need to be a little bit more active. Cron, near side. Bauman tries to keep it in, does momentarily, but now it comes for the Valkyries. That one up and over everybody, and that'll go for icing if it makes it, but they wave off as Eden Miller runs that one down. Miller around the cage, feeds it forward looking for Nelner. Nelner, the goal scorer, has it at the far board. just inside the blue line. Let's see if the Cats can get this out. They do. Now it comes back in. Meller here. Kron's going to come over and help. Meller loses an edge and goes down as she goes to cover for Kron in the middle. This one whipped in towards J-War, but now comes for Bauman on the near side check. That was Olsen. No, it was Bauman. And this one goes deep as Olsen gives chase. Olsen with an opportunity. Olsen behind the net. Feeds in towards the crease. It's a scramble. Nelner shoots. It's a good block that time by the Valkyrie defense. This one's sent out. This one's going to go for icing. And that will go for icing with 7:33 to go. So the Spartacats knocking on the door. The Valkyrie defense saying not today, or at least not in this period, as the Valkyries doing a good job of rallying around their goalkeeper. Baker, Shack, and Marcel, your forwards. Nurka and Scott, your defenders. Shack wins that face-off, but then is quickly taken away. Scott unable to hold that one in at the blue line, and now it goes back the other direction. Cats try to bring it over the blue line. They do. That's Marcel. She stood up at the line. Here come the Valkyries. This one gets pitched down deep until it's sent out. And controlled by the Valkyries, who punch it down into the corner. Nurka with it. Circles around J-War's cage. Tries to get it out and does. Shack's going to chase. Valkyries are going to get to this one first. They're going to circle around their cage. Shack's going to go in on their forecheck. Marcel's also over there. That one's going to go by everybody, and I think we're going to have icing against the Valkyries with 6:40 to go here in the second period. Valkyries change goalies. Let's see. No, Valkyries change goalies, but the Spartacats have stuck with Ruth J-War in this period so far. I didn't see her come in last period. Maybe the goalies are switching periods. Bauman and Olsen on top of each other there. This one goes to the far corner. Donahue's going to try to keep it in. She does momentarily. Valkyries are going to try to use the boards. But again, Cats unable to keep it in at the blue line. This one gets by everybody. Kron over for that one. Cannot poke it out. Stays in. Kron now with an opportunity. Tries to feed that forward. It hits a couple of sticks and rolls down, so there's no icing. Deep on the forecheck. This is Kron trying to keep it in. Aggressive from the defensive position. Olsen battling there. Bauman also battling there. 3 Spartacats up on the board, and that one poked out to neutral ice. Eden Meller is going to chase this one down. Unable to get to this one, and this is going to roll in on Ruth J-War. Kron's going to get to that first. Sends it around for Bauman. Bauman pitches it out to neutral ice. Here's Maren Olsen. Can she hit the Jets and go by a couple of defenders? Not that time, say the defenders. Olsen gets it back, though. Now she's behind the net. She slams on the brakes, tries to spin, and it's taken away from her as Bauman goes deep in the forecheck. This falls for Nelner. Nelner, the goal scorer. Nelner at the blue line sends it in, but it's kicked away that time by the defense. 5:12 to go here, second period. Good poke check that time by Eden Meller. Opportunity for Olsen, but she hasn't taken off of her stick. So good defense that time. Good defense that time by the by the Valkyries, and the coaching staff of the Valkyries holding their heads as they put a player on who started in the Spartacat end and stayed there, breaking up an opportunity to attack, and that's what unfortunately U10 girls will sometimes do. So Baker, Marcel, and Shack, your forwards. That save there by J-War. Scott tries to feed that forward. That does not get out at the line, right side of your screen. Scott with another opportunity, but this rolls in on J-War, almost an own goal by Nurka. You see Izzy Nurka holding her head. Oh my heavens. Scott with an opportunity, needs to get this out of the zone. She does get it out of the zone. Almost an own goal by Nurka. That would have been absolutely, as the Cats collide there at neutral ice. Shack tries to clean that up. This gets dumped down deep. Here's Zoe Scott around the cage. Has that puck roll off of her stick as the Valkyries win that one in the corner. Scott sends it forward but can't get it out. Now the Cats send that out, and the Cats just need to spread out a little bit. They're on top of each other just too much. That one goes by Nurka. Frustrated she didn't get to that one. Scott sends that forward, but the only person there is the defender from the Valkyries. Valkyries get it again. They send it in, and we've got offside again against the Valkyries. When the team switch ends, that door that's being used on the far side is in the attacking zone, so the coach on that door has got to be careful. And it could happen to either team, as both doors are in the same position. This one comes back for Meller. Meller backhands that one out to neutral ice. Cron with it, goes cross ice for Donahue. Donahue far side. Donahue gains the zone, tries to feed Olsen, but doesn't quite come off. Olsen spun around. Bauman tries to hold the zone. She does. Gets it to Cron. Cron fires towards the crease. That one almost made it through. Cron backhands that one towards Bauman. Now for Olsen. Lightning Icing and Valkyries. Valkyries with it. Opportunity as Cron takes that, slides it across to the far side. This is Miller far side. She tries to fire to the crease. Cron's gonna have to hold this one in. She needs to bust her chops to get there. She does, sends it in for Miller. Miller whips it down, and it goes around the cage. 2:45 to go here, second period, 1-0 in favor of the Spartacats. Conflagration there between a couple of girls. Cron has it on her stick, goes cross ice. Opportunity for Donahue, but Donahue didn't see it. That one finally gets in as Olsen, I think, had to get out. This one back for Cron. Cron feeds that forward. This is going to go down into the corner. I'm not sure if they're going to call icing on this or not. And they wave off icing as Nurka now on the ice along with Meller. Valkyries passing that forward. Here's Eden Miller. Eden Miller feeds that up. Lots of Valkyries off the bench. Far side, that one comes in hot towards J-War. Valkyries with another opportunity. J-War out of her crease. Somebody needs to guard the crease while J-War is down. And they do. Cats try to get it out, but they can't. This comes in back towards J-War. Opportunity! At J-War, they score! J-War could not get to that puck. The Spartacats could not get the clearance they were looking for. And we are tied at 1 with 1:41 to go here in the second period. Again, the scoring proficiency for the Valkyries not overly impressive, average only 2 goals per district game. But that all being said, they won the O-Town Showdown. I'm reminded from earlier this year that the Spartacats did not win. And that's a situation where the Spartacats just needed to be aware of the situation and getting a clearance, a nice firm clearance like right now. Spartacats just slapping the puck around. This one rides in towards J-War and it goes just wide. Cats have got to be more aggressive defensively and stepping to these pucks. You get a sense if they do that, they'll be a lot more successful as Shack goes deep on the forecheck. Nelner's on the far side. Scott holds that puck in momentarily, backhands that towards the middle. Baker tries to get it off of her stick. Now it's taken by Nelner. Nelner tries to steer that in towards the crease, but it's cut off by a defender. Again, Cats need to pressure that puck. Shack with it. Tries to backhand that in and a crossing pass. Here's Nelner. Nelner's got it on the forehand. Nelner whips that in towards the crease. And good defense that time by the Valkyries. Sees Nurka at the point trying to hold that in. Milner right below the camera, and that's offside as Nurka had not been able to clear the zone. So we'll have an offside call with a 1-1 score, second period, 32.2 seconds to go. Cron and Miller back out. Baker, Marcel, and Bauman, your forwards. Check it, it's Olsen, Bauman, and Marcel. This one goes down deep into the Valkyrie end. Marcel racing like she was shot out of a cannon. Again, all three Spartacats to that side. Bauman with an opportunity, slides it in. Opportunity down deep, but she couldn't unload the trigger. This one comes towards the top. Cron pinches in, sends it in towards, that's a good shot on goal. Looked like Olsen was covering for her. That's good hockey. Kept in that time momentarily by the Spartacats, but the time has expired and we head to the third period. Score 1-1. Shots, Cats are ahead in shots officially, not by too many though. One thing we've noticed from our position is the Cats just need to continue to be aggressive. They're waiting and standing and looking at the puck when the Valkyries have the puck, and they need to attack that. I think there's a tendency sometimes when you're not sure what to do to stand still, and of course at young ages it's hard to teach aggressive play. Also firm clearances, just smart firm clearances, understanding when it's time to just get it out of the zone regardless of where it goes, as long as it's on the other side of the blue line. But again, these are U10 girls. Those are things that they have to learn. And to remind you, this team will be playing not only in Fargo, but also in Dangle Fest. We're not sure exactly how many of those games are going to be broadcast here on this channel. Certainly as many as possible. I just don't know how that's going to work. Don't know if schedules are going to work that way, but in any event, Melissa Wilhelm back between the pipes for the Spartacats. Girls in blue need another player on the ice. Girls in blue need another player on the ice. There we go. So Donahue, Shack, and Bauman, your forwards. Cron and Miller, your defenders. That one whipped in by Olivia Shack. This goes down behind the Valkyrie net. 1-1 score, kind of what you would expect as the Valkyries have a good defensive record. Donahue's going to get this one first, send it in towards the crease, but it's deflected. Bauman's going to try to do the same thing. She tries to send it across. Let's see if the Valkyries are able to get control of it. They do. Now are they able to attack as Donahue out to the outside. Shack reaches in with a stick. Miller tries to keep that off. This is Bauman far side. She slides that out towards neutral ice. 11:13 to go. Bauman battling there. Shack also there. Cron with it. Cron and Shack fighting over the puck. Can't do that, girls. Have to have good communication. This one skips over Cron's stick. The newly sharpened skates, though, let her catch up to it. She's going to circle behind Wilhelm's net. She's going to bang that off the net, off the boards, but it's taken that time by the Valkyries. An opportunity. Valkyries steered that one behind the net. I don't think that's what she was trying to do. Cats need to get to this one. Cron with an opportunity. Good poke check that time by the Valkyries, and we need a frozen puck. And Melissa Wilhelm freezes it with 10:35 to go here in the third period. A tie score between these two teams. Valkyries looking for their second district victory of the season. Spartacats looking to remain unbeaten this season. 2 ties, 0 losses, 5 wins. That one's sent in towards the middle, and here's an opportunity. That one slides just wide. This is Scott on the far side. Lots of defense in front of her. Cats need to spread out a little bit. Again, you see them all bunching up. This one goes to the far side. Olsen's going to get onto this first. Can Olsen touch it? She does. Olsen with an opportunity. Olsen over the line. Olsen far side. Good defense that time by the Valkyries. Disrupts Olsen's stride. Olsen was still in the head of steam and control of the puck far side. Sends it to the middle, but nobody in the blue able to get to the end of that. Nurka has covering the line. She is able to keep it in, but now it's out to neutral ice. Scott whips that down deep. 9:49 to go. Third period. Comes to the near side. This is Zoe Scott. Had a player in front of her. Let's see if she tries this again. She does. Again, doesn't quite get as deep as she'd like. As the Valkyries keep sending it out, she says, forget about it, I'm going to go to Baker in the slot. Baker can't unload the cannon. It's a scramble in front of at the edge of the crease. And now the Valkyries with control near side. Scott steps in, sends it across. No Spartacats in a position necessarily to shoot that puck. Baker and Olsen chasing far side. Kept in there by Nurka, who feeds towards the middle, but didn't have a whole lot of steam on that. This comes for Olsen, shoots an opportunity, and she scores! It went between the 5-hole, and Maren Olsen cashes in. That was an innocent little shot, and it goes to show you all the shots are good. We talked about that yesterday in the 5-5 tie with the Rosemount Irish. Every shot is a good shot, and Maren Olsen cashes in. I did not think that was going to go in. I thought the goalie had that one, and it snuck in between her legs, and the Cats have a 2-1 lead. Let's see if they're able to get some momentum here coming off of that goal. Good step that time by Eden Miller. Miller feeds that down left side of your screen. It wraps around the Valkyrie net. Battle in the corner. This is Shack over for it. Marcel makes a play on it. Bauman's also got it. Meller is going to try to keep it in. Meller shoots towards the crease. Took a deflection. Good poke check there by Cron. Keeps it in. Nicely done. Sorry, bad camera work there. Trust me, she did. This one now rotates to the far side. Oh, centering pass opportunity. And the Cats get in each other's way. Cats have got to communicate a little bit. Cron battling there physically. Good job there. Marcel has the puck. This is going to fall for Meller. Meller gets it away from the Valkyrie offensive player. Cats cannot get a shot. They've got some zone time, but cannot seem to get a shot on goal. That one goes behind the net. It was a good shot, but behind the net. Cron up from her defensive position. Good poke check as Meller was covering for her. Marcel loses her stick. This one gets out to neutral ice. Everybody's falling down. Valkyrie's bench looking for a call there. I think that's just everybody falling down. Shack battling near corner. Meller still guarding the point. Cron still in the middle. Nelner and Baker are off the bench. Cron's going to go behind Wilhelm and wrap it around. Baker tries to feed that out. Cats finally do get it out to Meller. Meller with a little bit of steam, but has good defense there. This falls for Cron. Cron tries to push that over. She does, and now Olsen has a chance. Cron needs to battle there. That one does come out. Valkyrie's doing a good job of clearing the zone. Meller with that one tries to use the boards to get out. Didn't quite happen that time. Cats need to get to this loose puck behind Melissa Wilhelm. This is Meller. Meller, oh, cross-ice pass. Looking for Shack, but that was out. And unlucky there, and I think we had some bad camera work from yours truly. It was a good pass, but it might have been a risky one, as now Ruth, J-War, and Melissa Wilhelm switch. So J-War will see the Spartacats to the end of the game from 6:44 on, and the Valkyries also switching goalies. Rapidly moving game. It seems like we just started, but these two teams have been battling. That one comes out, and we'll have offside against the Valkyries on a bang-bang play. The lineup for the Spartacats: Nelner, Shack, and Bauman, your forwards, with Nurka and Scott, your defenders. Battle there right below our screen. Valkyries try to get it in. Scott pitches it out, but it's claimed that time by the Valkyries. That's sent in, and that should be icing, but it's not. It's waved off. Cats need to get this out. Cats need to continue to get this out. Bauman battling there. Bauman loses an edge and goes down. Nurka, right side of your screen around the cage. Tries to feed up towards Shack. Bauman tries to get it out. Cats just need to get this out of their zone. Now it's out of the zone, comes for Nelner. Nelner with a head of steam, and she's got some open ice. Nelner across the blue line. Nelner is able to, she's good physical play there without committing a penalty. Nelner disrupted. This is Bauman behind the net. She feeds it in towards the crease. It's sitting in the blue paint, and nobody on a blue jersey unable able to get a stick on it. And the Valkyries live to fight another day on that front. This comes for Zoe Scott. Zoe Scott feeds it across the middle. That was a blind pass. This is a shot from distance. Opportunity there for J-War, and J-War covers up. Good shot, good save by J-War with 5:27 to go. And with a 1-goal lead, the Spartacat coaching staff probably reminding the defense, blind passes, probably not necessary in this situation. Take an extra stride, whip your head around. Olsen, Marcel, and Baker, your forwards. Meller and Kron, your defenders. Kron making friends in front of the crease. Top of your screen. But this is Olsen. Olsen sends this forward. And here's Alora Marcel. Marcel with an opportunity. She's in, alone, has a chance, shoots and scores! Alora Marcel cashes in. Nicely done, young lady. And the Spartacats with a 3-1 lead. There was some confusion at the blue line as the Cats were coming out, but Marcel doing a nice job of staying with it, pumped the legs, she didn't get too deep. Players in that situation sometimes will get a little too deep, too close to the goalie, and that time the goalie stayed a little back on her line, and Marcel put it in the far side. So a 3-1 lead. Now for the Spartacats, we'll see if my prediction of 3 goals winning the game comes true. Kron far side, she goes cross ice. It's intercepted there by Olsen, but taken away that time by the Valkyries. And Cats keep it in. This is Kron up from her defensive end. She shoots from distance. Now she sends it in towards the crease. It's kept out. Kron really being aggressive from that defensive position. Not sure with a 2-goal lead I would do it that way. Here go the Valkyries going the other direction. That might have been offside as well. That hits side netting. Cats need to get on the other end of this one in a hurry. 4:19 to go here, third period. This is sent out towards the point, and it escapes the zone by the narrowest of margins. Miller with a good battle there, tries to hold it in, and that's sent back in by Donahue in an offside violation against the Spartacats. Will bring it back to the neutral zone for a face-off. You like to see aggressive play from your defenders jumping up into the play, but with a 2-goal lead late in the game, that's a coachable point, I think, probably for all the defenders for the Spartacats. Shack wins that one nominally, but it comes back for Bauman. She loses it and gets it over to Donahue. Again, lots of Spartacats all in the middle. Good job by Bauman there. Coming around the side, Shack tries to get that in. Shack punches it in. This comes for Nurka. Now it comes for Scott. Scott's going to have this one down behind J-War. Scott has a chance. She did send it up towards Donahue. But here's a good crossing pass opportunity. Cats just need to get this out. Cats, no playing around with it there in the high slot. They just need to get it out of the slot and out of the house. This one comes to the near side. Nurka with it. She's not under any pressure. Has a little trouble getting control of that puck as it was riding on edge. Now 2 Cats behind the net. A big battle behind the net. Everybody watching the puck. Cats try to send that out, but it's going to be kept in at the point. Cats need to get control of this with a couple of firm passes. This comes for Donahue. Donahue just needs to get it out. She's not able to near side. Scott back to the work in the corner. Spartacats get nominal control of it there. That puck sent out. This is going to go for icing if it makes it all the way down, and I think it is. And 2:36 to go here in the third period. Score 3-1 favor of the Spartacats. And a defensive zone face-off in front of Ruth J-War, number 16, between the pipes for the Spartacats. Baker, Olsen, and Nelner, your forwards, I think. Yep, Nelner, along with Meller and Kron, your defenders. 2:36 to go. The the Valkyrie net is empty. The Valkyries have pulled their goalie. Kron has it on her stick. This is Baker. She chips that off. Cats just want to get this out of the zone. All they have to do is get it out of the zone, force the Valkyries to vacate. Kron with it, bangs it off the boards. Took a weird hop, but stayed in. Cats need to find it. This rolls in on J-War. J-War with an opportunity, and J-War, right side of your screen, is able to get a glove on it. 2:14 to go. Cats have got to do a good job of making a firm clearance. So another face-off for the Valkyries. They've got an empty net. Cats need to get on the end of this. Nelner with an opportunity. Nelner's going to bring it out. Nelner brings it out over the red line. She shoots towards the goal. It does not go in, but it's behind the net. And now the Spartacats are on the far side. This one gets by Kron. Kron's going to be dispossessed. Miller's going to try to pick up. Here come the Valkyries going the other direction. Good recovery defense that time by the Spartacats. Baker with it far side, tries to feather it along, can't. Cats just need to get this out of the zone, and we're going to have a penalty against the Valkyries as one of the Spartacats, Eden Miller, was dumped behind the play. So we're going to have a face-off in the Valkyrie end with 1:39 to go, and a penalty against the Valkyries. We'll see the Spartacats on the power play. I think it's an interference call. Yeah, it's an interference call, as Eden Miller got absolutely lit up behind the play. So 3 goals for the Spartacats, 1 for the Valkyries. Valkyries desperately trying to get down to the other end. This falls for Scott. Scott chips this in. It's going to go by a couple of players, actually kept up by the Valkyries. Goes behind the cage. Shack with the far side defensive forecheck. Marcel is going to try to keep it in, but this is going to go down the other direction. There is no icing on this one. This is Scott with it. Scott's going to try to get it out. She's not able to. Now it comes out of the zone. Battle right there in front of the Spartacat bench. This one comes to the near side. The Valkyries have emptied their net again, so 47 seconds to go. Empty net for the Valkyries. Opportunity here for Bauman. She shoots, it's blocked. Scott's going to try to hold this in. She sends it down into the corner. Penalty time has expired for the Valkyries. Valkyries are off the bench. 6v5. That one's going to go the other way. I think this is going to go for icing. If it makes it, 24 seconds to go. It doesn't, as Nurka with it. Nurka lost it. Valkyries send that to the middle. Bauman loses an edge. This goes to the far corner. Scott will have it there. Just have to keep it pinned up there on the side. And now it leaves the zone and offside against the Valkyries. And the Spartacats, with 5.6 seconds to go, eyeing their 6th district victory of the season. It has been an entertaining game between these two teams. As we said, Valkyries really good defensively, having some challenges scoring goals. And that is it. The final buzzer sounds, and the Spartacats, U10B1 Blue Spartacats, have defeated the Valkyries by a score of 3-1. Goals by Nelner, Olsen, game winner for Olsen, and Marcel to seal it. Exciting stuff at the end of the year, and these two teams will play again, another district game as the year moves along. So we really do appreciate you joining us here on the channel. Thanks for watching, and thanks for paying attention to it, because it's nice to know that people are out watching it. So in one of the fastest games we've ever had, this live stream is going to end at 49 minutes. And they're usually running 57 minutes or more. So I'm going to end it now, but thanks for joining us here on the channel. And we'll be back with the next game on the schedule later this week, next weekend, I should say, for the girls. So long from Burnsville, everybody.